There is a massive gap forming right now. On one side, you have people using AI to generate generic average content. On the other side, you have architects building systems that outperform human experts. We've spent decades moving from manual labor to software automation, but now we are moving from software to intelligence. And intelligence requires a completely different operating manual. The difference isn't the model. It's not GPT-4 versus Claude. The difference is structure. Most people are using powerful tools with weak structures. Most people fail at AI because they treat it like Google. They ask a question, they expect an answer. That is the search engine trap, and it's the biggest barrier to entry today. In search, one-shot queries work, but AI is not a database. It is a reasoning engine. When you treat a reasoning engine like a search box, you are effectively gambling on the output quality. LLMs are trained to be safe and helpful. By default, that means they gravitate toward the middle, the average of all human knowledge. If you don't push through that wall, you stay in the sea of okay content. When you ask a reasoning engine to do complex work in a single breath, you force it to simplify. You force it to cut corners. This is where hallucinations and generic advice come from. We call this cognitive overload. Just like a human, if you give an AI 10 tasks at once, the quality of all 10 drops. To get expert-level results, we have to unbundle the complexity. The solution is prompt layering. This is the skill nobody teaches. It's not about magic keywords or hacks. It's about building a cognitive stack that supports high-level reasoning. Prompt layering is the art of breaking a complex request into discrete cognitive steps. It's how you move from generating text to generating actual economic value. It starts with layer 1, the prime. This is where we define the persona and the constraint. Who is the AI? And more importantly, what is it not allowed to do? We are setting the boundary of the sandbox. If you don't set the prime, the AI guesses. And when it guesses, it reverts to the average. In a world where average is free, average has zero market value. You need to be specific. To escape the average, you must constrain the infinite. You must build walls around the AI's logic before you ask it to run. This constraint is what creates the edge in your results. This is true leverage. Most people use AI to save time on low-value tasks. The architect uses AI to create high-value systems that save years of effort. That is the goal of this masterclass. This shift in mindset changes everything. You stop being a user, you become a director, you are no longer asking for favors from a machine, you are orchestrating a workforce. A director doesn't do the work, they define the vision, they set the tone, they provide the feedback. In part 2, I'm going to show you how to take that seat and start building your first layer. We are going to break down the 3 layers, the prime, the chain, and the Polish. By the end of this series, you won't just be prompting, you'll be designing intelligence. We have defined the foundation. Now, to build a cognitive stack, we start with layer 1, the prime. Most people think a prompt starts with a task. They are wrong. A prompt starts with an identity. When you give an AI a persona, you aren't just playing pretend. You are performing a technical operation. You are telling the model which subset of its massive training data to prioritize for every single word it generates. You are narrowing the probability field. You are effectively muting the noise of the entire internet and amplifying the signal of a specific expert mindset. Without a persona, the AI pulls from everywhere, the poet, the programmer, and the middle schooler. With a persona, you force it into a specific professional frequency. Don't just say, you are a marketing expert. That's a title, not a persona. Say, you are a direct response copywriter with 20 years of experience in high-ticket SaaS. Precision creates performance. Look at the difference. A standard prompt gets you the average. It uses AI-isms like in the ever-changing landscape or unlocking potential. These are the symptoms of a missing prime layer. The second half of the prime is the constraint. If the persona tells the AI who to be, the constraint tells it what to avoid. Constraints are the walls that keep the reasoning engine from wandering into fluff. Negative constraints are often more powerful than positive ones. By telling the AI what not to do, you prune the tree of possibilities. You are sculpting the response by removing the waste. Say, do not use corporate buzzwords. Do not mention competitors. Do not apologize for being an AI. Every no you give makes the final yes much stronger. This is how we unbundle complexity. By setting the prime first, we clear the cognitive path. We ensure the AI is standing in the right room with the right tools before we ever give it a task. Think of the prime as building the sandbox. You determine the size, the walls, and the quality of the sand. Only once the sandbox is built can you start the actual work. When you apply the prime, the transformation is instant. You move from a response that sounds like a chatbot to a response that sounds like a consultant. That shift alone is worth the price of admission. When the prime is solid, the internal coherence of the AI's logic skyrockets. It no longer needs to guess your intent because you've defined the universe it exists in. This is where economic value is created. Most people settle for the raw stone. The architect uses the prime to start the carving process. You are moving from text generation to system design. The prime is the base of your cognitive stack. Everything we do in layer 2, the chain, and layer 3, the Polish, depends on this foundation. If the prime is weak, the stack collapses. We have built the walls, we have set the identity, the sandbox is ready. Now we move from identity to action. Identity is the foundation, but execution is the engine. Welcome to layer 2, the chain. This is where we stop asking for answers and start designing reasoning paths. Most users use linear reasoning. They give a task and hope for the best. The architect uses chained reasoning. We break one massive task into smaller logical dependencies. Think of it like an assembly line for intelligence. The output of one step becomes the input for the next. This prevents the model from losing focus during a large request. You aren't just chaining tasks, you are chaining logic. Each layer of the chain adds a new dimension of reasoning, ensuring the final output is backed by a structured internal process. By forcing the AI to explain its logic at every step, you eliminate hallucinations. You aren't just getting a result, you are getting a verified logical progression. That is the secret to consistency. In practice, you might ask the AI to first analyze a problem, then critique its own analysis, and only then write the solution. This multi-pass approach is how you get expert-level consistency. Finally, we reach layer 3, the Polish. This is the last 5% of the work that creates 95% of the impact. It's where we move from machine-generated to human-ready. In the Polish, we refine the syntax. We remove the AI smell. We adjust the tone to match the prime we set in layer 1. We are optimizing for the end reader, not the reasoning engine. We look for clinical language, overused transition words, and lack of nuance. We strip away the filler and replace it with the specific expertise we defined in the identity layer. Think of it like a professional editor reviewing a manuscript. The chain created the logic. The Polish creates the delivery. Without delivery, your architectural brilliance stays hidden behind robotic language. The prime, the chain, the Polish. This is the complete cognitive stack. When you master these 3 layers, you no longer fear AI disruption. You become the disruptor. The world doesn't need more prompt engineers. It needs architects, people who can design intelligent systems that scale. That is the skill that determines authority in the digital age. This is your edge. While the rest of the world treats AI as a novelty, you treat it as programmable infrastructure. You are building leverage while they are just playing with tools. Prompt layering is the key to the vault. It's the difference between being a spectator and being a participant in the most significant shift in history. The architecture is ready. Now, go build. I'm seeing a future designed by architects. Make sure you're one of them. Subscribe for more structured digital education. I'll see you in the next masterclass.